diplomat, I have a huge uh I absolutely love media like fiction, movies, TV series about journalism, and I wish there was more of it, and so I'm really hyped for Civil War because that's the main thing. It's like the context is a civil war in the U.S., but the story follows a group of journalists, and really wish there was more of that. It's coming out next week, meaning the week that's starting in 2 days. My cat is being um very excited right now. Let me get her. It's coming out next week in Germany, so I'm definitely gonna go see it when it comes out as soon as it comes. Yeah, all the President's Men, Spotlight, all of those. The thing is, there are literally hundreds, probably thousands of TV series and movies about detectives and about lawyers and about doctors. And there's like a handful about journalism. Like the police TV series are getting to the point where you can almost have an not even like a creative like generative AI chat GPT thing, but just like a random like handmade cheap randomizer algorithm that says, okay, we're gonna make a new TV series and it's gonna be pairing a police detective with a like The Mentalist was with someone who kind of pretends to read minds. And you make The Mentalist. Oh, we're gonna do it with a fiction writer, and now it's Castle. We're gonna do it with a mathematician, and it's Monk. There was two adaptations that no, sorry, TV spin-offs of films that I liked that came out the same year, like I don't know, 5, 8 years ago, something like that, of Limitless and Minority Report. And it was so uncreative. They just made it into one of those. It was Minority Report was futuristic police detective teams up with one of the precogs from Minority Report. And you just make it a formulaic like episode after episode um random murder of the week kind of thing. And they did the same thing with Limitless. Random musician gets the Limitless pills and teams up with an FBI detective. It's like, is that the best you can come up with? With amazing movies, that is the adaptation that you're gonna like the lowest possible effort of creativity that you could come up with was that. Are you serious? And yeah, in the meantime, there's so many cool stories you could say about journalism, and I just wish. And I'm not just saying that because like I'm a journalist and I want journalists to be shown on, but I also think like it would be great if, because part of it is also like part of the reason why people hate journalism or journalists in general and hate the media is because they don't really understand kind of the people who are involved in the behind the scenes. Okay, this is this is not entirely true. Like now, police has a really bad reputation, but a lot of the goodwills that they have generally among more conservative people is because, well, I watch a TV show and police there just want to help people, and that's great, you know. And if you saw more shows about journalism where the journalists were like passionate, idealistic people who want to show the truth, and you can have, I don't know, you could have a TV show about war correspondents trying to reveal war crimes or something like that, or a show about people investigating corporate corruption or the cartels or stuff like that. Like there's so much amazing work being done by journalists every day that you can take inspiration from to make amazing stories about journalism. Um, you have House of Cards. The show literally starts with a dirty deal between this ambitious cutthroat reporter and this super corrupt politician. Despite that, the journalism storyline in the first couple of series of House of Cards, seasons of House of Cards, is the best part of that show, in my opinion. I'm biased because I'm a journalist, but I loved that aspect of the show. And when they basically got rid of it and it became like they got rid of all of the journalists that mattered in the first couple of seasons And then in the later seasons, when there's journalists, it's like, oh, it's this new random character that we're going to see for like 2 episodes for like 5 minutes each, and then we're never going to hear about them again. And they completely axed the part of the show that I was actually invested in and wanted to know more about. So yeah, no, I wish we could see more of that. I'm reading a book right now, called Pegasus, about it's about some of the journalists who broke the story of the Israeli spy software that made headlines a few years ago around the world. But the part of the book that I'm reading that I'm really really fascinated about is that the writers of the book, these two French journalists, run a team of an international team of journalists of investigative journalists called Forbidden Stories, and the purpose of that is that they actually follow up on investigations done, like the investigations that were unfinished by journalists who were murdered before they can finish their work. So a journalist gets killed by the cartels in Mexico. The Forbidden Stories team picks up on their investigations, and they're like a team of, I don't know how many people, but they are a partnership between media companies from all over the world, or journalists who publish in different newspapers and media from over the world. So instead of having like basically like the cartel murders one investigative journalist that was a thorn on their side, and all of a sudden they have dozens of international journalists working together on the story now, so they can't kill all of them, and that investigation eventually gets published in a bunch of newspapers in papers instead of being published in one Mexican newspaper, something like that. So they do that for journalists killed by the cartel, for journalists killed for covering like corporate corruption in different places, stuff like that. And that is such a like profound concept to me, and it would make such an amazing concept for a TV series, even if you didn't necessarily adapt like real stories, even though you could adapt real stories like you do in Spotlight and All the President's Men. But even if you wanted to fictionalize it so that you could, invent more stuff and kind of make it a bit more dramatic, I think it's plenty dramatic already, but if you wanted to make it a fiction, you could easily come up with incredible material to show in a TV series about a consortium of investigative journalism doing that kind of work. That is to me, that is so much more inspiring than, hey, let's have a police officer team up with McDonald's burger flipper. Like, I don't know. It really feels like the TV, the police investigation TV series is, we don't know what to fill time with, so we're just gonna come up with a random new concept that could have, been generated automatically. Don't forget to like and follow. This was a clip from the weekly Barely Informed live stream. You can catch it every Sunday on the main Barely Informed YouTube channel, and please support us on Patreon. The link for both of those are down below.